If you are preparing for the OET speaking test, then this video is going to be a game changer. Today we are going to look at interesting role play sample, not the usual one you have probably seen before. So we will break down how to handle the situation and what kind of language you use and how to hit those high scores. So stick around till the end because I will also share some golden tips that most candidates completely miss. Okay? Let me do a quick refresher before we dive in. The OET speaking section has two role plays. You know that, right? Each about 5 minutes long. So you will play the role of a healthcare professional. The examiner will act as your patient or a caregiver or even a colleague sometimes. And here your mission is you have to show that how you can communicate clearly, calmly, and empathetically in a medical setting. Always remember, it's not about showing off medical knowledge. It's about showing how you can connect and explain things in a way that the patient understands it clearly. Okay? Now, let's move on to the scoring criteria. You will be marked on pronunciation, intonation and fluency, grammar and vocabulary, and clinical communication. The first one, when I'm talking about pronunciation, try to make your pronunciation clear, easy to follow speech. You don't need an accent, you just need clarity, okay? And the second one is intonation and fluency. So try to keep your speech in a smooth, natural, and confident way. Pauses are fine, but avoid long and awkward silences. And use professional but simple language. Don't drown the patient in medical jargons, okay? And when I'm talking about the clinical communication, this is the big one. You have to show empathy, explain clearly, and check understanding, and finally try to build a rapport. So these are the things that are covered in clinical communication criteria. So this is really important, okay? Now let's move on to a role play scenario. You are a physiotherapist, a middle aged patient is recovering from knee surgery. They are frustrated because progress feels slow, and the patient is worried that he might never walk normally again. So, are you ready with the response? Let me tell my response here. Good morning, Mr. Peterson. It's really nice to see you again. How has your knee been feeling since our last session? I can see that you're feeling a bit frustrated with the pace of recovery, and that's completely understandable. Many patients go through the same emotions during the early weeks after surgery, so you are definitely not alone in this. Now, let me explain clearly what's happening. Recovery after knee surgery usually takes several months, so at this stage, you are actually right on track. The stiffness and discomfort you are experiencing are very common, and with consistent physiotherapy, these symptoms will gradually reduce. Here is what I would suggest. If you continue with the stretching and strengthening exercises I gave you, then you will start noticing steady improvements. To support your progress, you can also try short walks at home. And if you notice any swelling, applying ice for 15 minutes can really help. The good news is you absolutely will be able to walk normally again. So it just takes some patience and regular practice. From what I have seen so far, you are already making great progress, so please don't lose heart. Before we finish, I just want to check, do you feel comfortable continuing with the home exercises on your own? Or would you prefer that I demonstrate them again for you today? Okay, let me tell you why this response gives you a higher score. The first one is pronunciation and intonation. If you see the sentences, these are simple and clear with natural pauses, right? Medical terms like stiffness, recovery, and if you see strengthening exercises, they are very easy to pronounce, right? So this avoids confusion and we are also ensures that the patient understand. Got it? And the fluency, the flow is very smooth. There are no abrupt pauses, and I didn't use any fillers like or long hesitations. So each point connects logically to the next, making it sound like a real conversation. And if you see the grammar is very accurate. Past tense when asking about the progress, future tense I have used whenever I'm giving the reassurance, and I also use the imperative or conditional structures for advice. And the vocabularies, yes, I have used a range of vocabularies which are very professional but still accessible. Like I have given short walks, steady improvements, no heavy jargons used, right? So, which makes it patient friendly. And if you see the clinical communication criteria, I have started with the building rapport. The first sentence itself. Good morning, Mr. Peterson. It's really nice to see you again. So this creates trust and sets a positive tone. Got it? And I also acknowledged feelings. So I have directly validated the patient's emotions. I can see you are frustrated. That's completely understandable. So this means I'm showing empathy, which is heavily rewarded in OET. And I have given clear explanation. The condition is explained in a very simple way. I have told very clearly the recovery after knee surgery usually takes several months. And during this time, he may experience stiffness and discomfort, which are very common, right? So the patient gets context without being overloaded. And I also given practical advice which is very realistic, step by step guidance. First I have suggested exercises, then short walks, then if there is any swelling, applying ice for 15 minutes, right? So patients can act on these instructions immediately. And reassurance and motivation, you will be able to walk normally again. So it's a very strong reassurance, right? Motivation is very essential in patient care, and this shows professional optimism. And I have also checked his understanding by asking, do you feel comfortable continuing with the home exercises on your own, or do I need to demonstrate it again? So this confirms patient comprehension and it encourages active participation. And if you see the tone, it's very calm, respectful, and professional. No slang, but also not too formal. So it balances authority. That means giving clear medical advice with empathy. Got it? All right. So before we wrap up, here are some quick fire tips to boost your OAT speaking score. First one is don't rush. Speak at a pace that feels very natural, not robotic. Okay. And always check for patient understanding, which is very vital in OET speaking. You can use phrases like, does that make sense? Or you can say, like, would you like me to explain that again? So, constantly you have to give space for the patient to understand and get their assurance. Okay, and stay professional but warm. Imagine you're talking to your actual patient at work. And you can use empathy lines. I understand this feels worrying. Or you can say, that's a very valid concern. So these small phrases show big communication skills. Got it? Okay, so that's all for today's video. Kindly like, share, and subscribe for more OET tips. See you in the next video. Bye for now.